convince him to travel down to New Orleans. And couldn't convince him, so finally, so I had to invite everybody up here to Scobeyville. So I hope you, and actually, please let us know where everybody else is watching us from, because it's really interesting to see who's out there. Even though it's been a tough year for all of us, we still need to celebrate life's accomplishments. And today we celebrate 8th generation Larrie Laird, his 80th year, and distilling our Laird's apple brandy for over 5 decades. So I would bet that he's probably the oldest living apple brandy distiller, if not brandy distiller worldwide. We have 3 generations with us today. In addition to myself, who's 9th generation, my father, Larrie, who's 8th. My mother's sitting off camera, Rosemary Laird. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that next week they are celebrating another milestone, their 60th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And then representing the 10th generation is my son, Gerard. But joining us today, we have a few cocktail luminaries that have been catalysts to today's plastic cocktail revolution and renaissance that we are experiencing today. We have a pre-recorded message from the one and only cocktail evangelist couple, Audrey Saunders and Robert Katz. And then live today, we have the bartender extraordinaire and a fellow dame, Ms. Franky Marshall, the king and master of cocktails himself, Dale DeGroff, along with his lovely and talented artistic wife, Jill. We have the elusive superhero of vintage cocktails, Dr. Cocktail, Ted Haigh. And then we also have, hopefully, Chad will be able to join us as well, but we have the dynamic cocktail power couple, Christy Pope and Chad Solomon. So I'd like to begin. We're going to start off with our pre-recorded message from Audrey and Robert.
Happy birthday, Larrie. I'm sure that Alexander Laird, your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, will be very happy with what has become the seeds he sowed back in 1698.
Larrie, we are so honored to be celebrating with you here tonight. I've been working with Laird's in my career as early as I can remember, and when I opened Pegu Club back in 2005, you have no idea how thrilled I was when my friend Sam Kinsey gifted me with a bottle of your bonded apple brandy. I thought it was outstanding, and I fell in love with it at first sips. And I really want to thank both you and Lisa for listening to bartenders and making it available in those early days for us. Also for keeping the torch lit and for sharing 240 years of distilling tradition throughout America. It's an outstanding achievement. You should be so, so proud. Happy 80th birthday, Larrie.
We wish you good health.
And many, many happy returns. Cheers.
Happy birthday, Larrie.
I think we're live again. So, Ms. Franky?
I'd like to thank you so much for inviting me to join in this very important place with these illustrious guests for a very important thing, Mr. Larrie Laird. So I was seeing a little stalking of you, Larrie, on the web, and I came across a quote saying that you like to get your hands dirty. I tell you what, I like that in a man. So here's here's to 80 years of being president of the company and doing a wonderful job with Lisa too. She turned out pretty well, I think. So happy birthday, and here's a toast to you, Larrie. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, Dale and Jill.
Okay. Well, Larrie, we don't know each other, but I certainly know Lisa. And happiness for me has been sitting at the employees-only bar at 2 o'clock in the morning in Hong Kong alone, and your daughter walks through the door. That was happiness. Same thing happened in New Orleans. sitting at the bar alone, and I just started to think, well, this woman's a real barfly. This was truly, and Lisa and I have had the opportunity on many occasions to raise a glass. I'm delighted to have the occasion here with you, the 8th, 9th, and 10th generation of the Laird family, and to raise our glasses of Jack Rose Sours to you for another long, long run of cocktail making, of Laird's Applejack making and cocktail making. Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Okay, Christy.
I'm sorry, Chad. Yeah. Apologies for Chad, who was hoping to make it here in time today, but wasn't able to. So I'm going to take it for both of us. It's so exciting to be here, celebrate Larrie Laird and America's oldest native distilled spirit, Applejack, that has rested in the hands of the Laird's family. It's such a wonderful legacy. Larrie has really presided over the company through some of the best and worst times in the industry. He carried the torch through the dark ages, brought us into the light, so to speak, and now to be sitting next to the next two generations is just a wonderful sight to see. I think the Star cocktail is a very appropriate celebration toast. Not only is it your favorite cocktail, Larrie, but it was also Teddy Roosevelt's, one of his favorite drinks. So I'm going to have a little quote from Teddy Roosevelt, one of the many presidents that have been drinking Applejack amongst these 240 years. Far and away, the best prize in life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work that is worth doing. And you have been doing exactly that, work that we are in love with. Applejack is, well, Chad and I are super fans. We've been lucky enough to turn that fandom into working with the company, being the unofficial cheerleaders for many years. And just quickly, the first time we met Larrie was at the Laird's distillery, where Lisa was chasing him all afternoon to get him to talk to us because he was so busy on the forklift. And we realized that was his happy place. So, you know, the big footsteps you guys are stepping into with Larrie and all the good work he's done. But it's been a pleasure to work with you guys all along the way. And the family with 240 years, 80 is just a drop in the bucket. So here's to 80 more.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
True story.
Yum.
All right, the elusive Dr. Cocktail is up.
Okay. This is very ad hoc for me. I try not to plan anything. But I took it as a great opportunity. I have not met Larrie, but I've spoken to him on the phone almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I wrote about it in my book. I'll read you just a little passage out of that to remind everybody. I wanted, at the time, I've written one book, but I wrote 3 different versions of it. And if we count what I'm about to talk about, 4. I was first developing vintage spirits and forgotten cocktails around 1990. It first got published in 2003, and 10 years before that is when, previous to the internet, I was very friskily calling up all these major companies. I called up Angostura because I figured nobody would know better than their major competitors who would make orange bitters. At the time, you couldn't find it anywhere except, as it turned out, Rochester. But in so doing, in 1993, I called up Laird's Applejack, and I spoke to a lovely woman named Katie. And it went kind of like this. I'd been looking, the reason Applejack interested me is because it was it was something a lot of people hadn't heard of out of its regional market. I mean, it was everybody'd heard about private eyes drinking the rye whiskey and so on and so forth, but Applejack was the first spirit distilled in America. It had great history, and so was extra mysterious, and I was just immediately fascinated. And for at least a year, it was the only thing I drank. It was the only thing I drank. I mean, I'd be at the computer with my little rocks glass filled with Laird's Applejack, feeling like a New Jersey version of Raymond Chandler. But at a certain point, I knew I needed to have a photograph of something old from Laird, and there was no eBay. There was no way to find anything. So I called up, and the way I put it was, Katie, a very nice lady, answered the phone. I asked if they had any old 1940s bottles hanging around I could have or photograph. And the conversation went something like this: "Oh, you'll need to be speaking to Larry. Hold the line." And I heard Larry pick up the line saying, "How do you work this new phone system?" Finally, "Hello, this is Larrie Laird." And that's when it sank into me. I wasn't just talking to some office person named Larry. I was talking to a direct descendant of William and Robert Laird, which, if you think in terms of 6 degrees of separation, I could have met the most famous people this country ever produced. And it's an amazing lineage. And it's a wonderful thing it's still in the family. And it's a wonderful thing that Laird's rescued a lot of other Applejack makers when they were back on their heels, and preserved a tradition that is unique. So with that in mind, what I want to do a little differently is, well, here, let me show you. Here we go. Yeah, this is going to go over 3 minutes. Anyway, this over here, I'll tell you what, let's just bring it over. This is a wonderful sculpture, obviously done directly of Larrie Laird. There it is. And yeah, there it is. You can see he's so lifelike, so very lifelike. And beside it here is a 1940 bottle, unopened, of Laird's apple brandy. And that's what I'm going to toast you with, Larry. I'm going to, here, let's do this back up here. Okay. So I'm going to toast you 1939 New Deal mug.
Awesome. So anyway, 1940 is the year that Larry was born.
1930?
1940.
Oh, I thought it was 1940.
Yeah, no, it's 1940. I'm letting everybody know that that's the year he was born.
Lisa, don't give me a heart attack. Here we go.
Come on.
This is original 80-year-old Laird's Applejack.
You will pour some in here?
Absolutely. So here's my toast. Larry, we've had a lot of loss in this industry, and I am so damn glad you're still alive.
So am I.
That's my toast to you.
Thank you, Ted. My mother's over saying,
one more thing before we go.
Here, she still wants him around. That's pretty damn good.
I know. And here's another thing. I found this because, this research was a long time ago. So in 1993, I wrote Laird, you guys, and Larry, a follow-up letter that just said, "I cannot thank you enough for speaking with me personally." And I just got this out of the file today. This is 30 years, almost 30 years old. I'm so pleased to know that after all this time, Laird's is still in the family. And then I finish off the letter with, I guess that says it all. I so seldom have a chance in my research to target my appreciation. I must tell you personally, I love Laird's Applejack. I love it in the Jack Rose, the Calvados, the Roulette, and the movie star cocktails, to name a few. Any cocktail using Calvados can use Applejack. The reverse is not true. Then I go and tell them stuff I want. One more thing. Yeah, give me some of the really old Lairds, Larry. And what I'd asked for was some of what's on that mantelpiece. That's what he offered me. He offered me one of his family heirlooms, which I did not take him up on because that was just too much pressure for me. I want to show you something else too. This is my little display of Lairds through the years since I got. First over here, we've got some of the competitors they bought out, Hildix and Stays over here. This is a 1930s bottle of Laird's apple brandy, full and sealed. This is a 1940s bottle of the Bar Special. This one was filled at 86.4 proof, which was a little less than the 90 proof for the general public. Don't get them too drunk too quick now.
You have gifted me a bottle at One Tales when Chad and Christy did their seminar. You gifted
there you go.
Our specials.
And this is almost the way it looks now. This is a 1943 bottle of their straight apple brandy, 100 proof, bonded, 1943. And this is their late 50s, early 60s labeling, which in one form or another stuck around until they came up with their nifty new look bottling. Anyway, that's the entirety of my presentation. I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked your Larry.
Thank you, Ted. I know we're over time. Do you want to say something real quick? You just jumped in.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Chad.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Chad.
Glad you could join us, Chad.
I was thrilled. I tried to wind it down fast, and here I am.
Okay, well, thank you. So I'm just going to do a quick toast myself to my dad, to a man who began in the cider mill at the age of 16, while leaving for a time span of 5 years to strike it out on his own, but then being begged by the family to return and run the distillery. To a man who has lived and breathed apple brandy for 55 years, keeping an historic American spirit alive when it would inevitably have died if he hadn't done that. And to being my role model and my hero, I love you. Cheers. Thank you.
Yay.
You want to say something, Beth?
Well, I'm not much of a speech maker. I'm a little out of my element here, but I would like to thank everyone that has joined us today, especially those who have taken the time and to speak and to honor me with a toast. It's very humbling, and I'm very grateful for your good wishes. And, I've been doing, as Lisa said, for many decades, the things that I love. And that's, primarily continuing our family heritage, and hopefully that will go on into the distant future and producing what I consider the finest brandy in the world, which I intend to continue to try to produce as long as I'm able, and I hope that's for several years from now. And again, thanks everybody. Cheers and best wishes to all of you.
Cheers.
Well, thank you, everybody. I think we're actually over time, so I guess we'll bid everybody goodbye, and we're on our way to have some cocktails on the porch, Dale.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to keep on with the Lairds.
And Chad, so happy you could join us.
I wouldn't miss for the world.
Great to see you. Great to see you as always.
Likewise.
Thank you, Franky. Thank you, Ted. And Christy, obviously, thank you. And
Thanks
Audrey.
again to everyone.
And I don't know if Audrey and Robert are being able to listen to us right now, but and see us. But oh, she is. There she is. Audrey just said cheers.
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. We didn't get to see your, unfortunately, we didn't get to see your toast, but we will watch it in the, when they have the recording in the, I guess it's in the lobby or wherever we can go watch the pre-recorded. So we'll watch that. Thank you so much to both of you. And I miss seeing everybody and sitting and having a cocktail. So I can't wait till we can all sit together and actually have a cocktail together instead of virtually. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Nice to see everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Sweet dreams, everybody.
Ciao.